everyone, welcome to Rev Sports. I am Shorjani Chatterjee, your host for tonight's pre-match show as we gear up for the first playoff clash of the season between RCB and GT. Joining me today are Vaibhav Tripathi, Bharat Ramraj and Shamik Chakrabarti as we break down what promises to be a thrilling contest. Now, RCB come into this game at the top of the table with GT right behind them in the second place. Both the teams have equal points, which is 18 points. Now, the stakes could not be higher. The winner tonight will book a direct spot in the IPL final, while the losing side will still have one more opportunity to fight their way back through the qualifier too. Now, for RCB fans watching, the big question remains, can RCB make it two IPL titles in a row? Now, under the leadership of Rajat Patidar, the side looks confident, balanced, and well prepared to face Shubman Gill's GT today. But again, when we talk about GT, the team has shown tremendous character throughout the season. They suffered a few heartbreaking close defeats early on, but slowly and steadily the squad has grown stronger together and they have started performing like a complete unit. So, a lot of questions to be answered tonight. First thing first, Shamik, my question to you is RCB lost their final league stage game against Sunrisers Hyderabad. Do you think that is a concern, or do you feel that that is going to affect them on today's playoff match?
Absolutely not. I mean, this is T20 cricket, and especially this is IPL. So the last match is always Raat Gayi, Baat Gayi. So it is done and dusted. It is a new, and when you are into the playoffs, it is completely different ball game. Or it is a completely different ball game altogether. See what happens in T20 cricket. It's on the night. On the night, if you perform well, if you perform better than your opponents, you will win the game. Simple as that. And the words like momentum, consistency, these are the words that that are overrated when you reach the knockout stage. Because what happens in the league stage, if you have consistency is a factor. But it is about, and I think this is the mindset of every team that has reached the playoffs. They will take every game as a final. I know the team that will lose here will have a second. They will get an opportunity to have a second bite of the cherry, but they will not think that way. They'll want to finish things up and go to the final to Ahmedabad and play the final on Sunday. That would be the mindset. If you look at it, RCB have been the most all-round side of this IPL. Very, very all-round. Gujarat Titans also. I mean, if you look at them, the way they play, I mean, uh, strategically, maybe in terms of strategic part, Gujarat Titans, because of Ashish Nehra, they have their nose in front. Because of Ashish Nehra in the dugout, they might have their nose in front. Because, but once again, this is not Test cricket. This is T20 cricket, and it is down to execution. You can have the best planning, and you can have the best planning in the world, but if you don't execute your plans properly, you will not win. So all combined, it is a battle of equals. This is absolutely a battle of equals. The team that will blink first will lose, and the other team will go to the final.
Bharat, as Shamik was mentioning that this is a battle of equals, we all know RCB has performed exceptionally well throughout the season, as well as Gujarat Titans. But now my question to you is, on the previous match, we saw that Virat Kohli and Venkatesh Iyer, they were opening together. So do you think that that combination gives RCB a balance at the top?
Not maybe. See, Venkatesh Iyer definitely played with that. What can I say? Caribbean flair, that bit of panache. Is someone who definitely has the game at the top of the order. When I've seen that when he's played list A cricket, T20 cricket for Madhya Pradesh. But someone like Bill Salt, if he were fit, I'm not very sure because I don't think he's 100% fit. If RCB have to pick Bill Salt, they have to kind of gamble today because I don't think he's 100% fit. But even someone like Bill Salt definitely gives them that kind of firepower at the top of the order. Even if it is Bill Salt and Virat Kohli, you definitely expect them to turbocharge the engine in the power play overs. I think it basically comes down to how RCB will face Gujarat Titans stall fast bowlers at Dharamsala. Yes, the ball travels here, travels farther, faster, because it is 1,457 meters above sea level, if I'm not mistaken. So the ball will fly. But having said that, I think you have seen some bounce at Dharamsala. You have seen a little bit of nip. So I definitely think Gujarat Titans have a far better pace attack than Punjab Kings ever would have, because with that kind of a pace attack, they were never going to defend any kind of target. So it would be interesting to see how RCB's openers, RCB's top order, and Rajat Patidar, who has had a problem or two against a short ball this season, will fare up against Gujarat Titans' tall boys club. I think that is what this game will be decided on.
Vaibhav, I wanted to ask you a little
Shorjani,
controversial. Yes,
Shorjani, please give me 2 minutes. Shudisha is giving me a call regarding a copy,
definitely,
so I'll get back.
definitely, definitely. Vaibhav, I'm going to ask you a very controversial question. Do you think that Virat Kohli's form has dipped a little in the second half of IPL? I mean, we obviously know what kind of a player Virat Kohli is, and the class and the form and the exoticness that he carries in the way that he bats. It's a complete pleasure to go out there and watch him bat. But do you feel that his form has dipped in the second half of the IPL?
Definitely not. Look at the scores. Against Punjab Kings also he gave a start with Venkatesh here. Obviously, Venkatesh here playing his first game as an opener, he took the charge on the bowlers. He was the aggressor. Virat Kohli played the second fiddle, but seldom he has got the opportunity in this season where he has played the second fiddle. Phil Salt has already missed more than 1 month of cricket. Jacob Bethel in between played 6 games. He was struggling. Virat Kohli was doing the bulk of the scoring in between. He scored 100 as well, his ninth IPL 100. So I don't think it's a concern. Yes, last match he got out to the new cutter king Saqib Hussain, as we may call him, because Saqib Hussain, to decode his cutters is very tough, even for the best of the batters. And he was outfoxed by a cutter. So again, nothing against Virat. At times you get out to a few good deliveries, and that's what happened. It's a nature of this format, that it's nearly impossible that a batter will score in all the 14 games. So that's not going to happen. Even if it is Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers, the greatest of the batsmen, cannot score in all the 14 games. So just one bad score against SRH. I think even against Punjab Kings he was doing really well. So no concerns regarding Virat Kohli. I think the only concern that RCB has, they have problems of plenty. What to do? Last night, Rajat Patidar came to the press conference he attended, and he said that Salt is fit. He said Salt is fit, but then he said we will take a final call on the playing 11 closer to the match. So this is what a Venkatesh Iyer has done, because he played that match winning innings against Punjab Kings in Dharamshala. That innings has given a lot of confidence to the team management that he can do the job up front at the top. So if Phil Salt is not there, or even if he's fit, he's not an automatic choice. Otherwise, it was very easy for Rajat Patidar to say that now our proven performer, our match winner is fit, and he will be back at the top. But he didn't say that. He said we will take a call on the playing 11 closer to the match. So this is what a Venkatesh Iyer has done. The second thing, whether to play Surya Sharma or not, again that becomes, and that will only be decided if Phil Salt is playing or not. So I think that only is an RCB problem. Otherwise, they are head and shoulders above for me, just because of the middle order that they have. They have a gun middle order. They have somebody like a Krunal Pandya who can absorb pressure and then play good innings. He has done that for MI in knockout games in the past. So I think there is no comparison when it comes to GT and RCB when it comes to batting. Bowling, obviously, I will give a slightest of the edge to Gujarat Titans, as Bharat also mentioned. They have more all-round bowling attack with Sai Sudarshan, Rashid Khan, right arm leg spinners, and tall boys club, four seamers. But I think they have to be wise with their selection as well, whether to play Arshad Khan or not. Arshad Khan has been the
No.
problem for them in the last few games. So Prasidh Krishna should make way. Arshad Khan should make way for Prasidh Krishna. Is the white decision that they should take. Apart from that, Gujarat Titans have the weakest of the middle orders. That is noted. Since last year, their middle order has contributed less than 30% of team's runs. Yes, you have found a new hero in Washington Sundar at number 4. But then what after number 4? 4, 5, 6. who's your 5, 6, 7? That is a problem. Rashid Khan and Jason Holder are lower middle order batters, finishers. So I think it comes down to middle order where RCB has the edge. So RCB clear favorites for me, unless until GT plays with same template, bowl first, get the opposition to a low total, and then chase the total down, which has been their template for throughout the season.
Yes, Webhook was mentioning about the middle order of Gujarat Titans, and we will definitely talk about that. But before that, Shamik, what I wanted to ask you is that after Phil Salt was ruled out due to an injury, we saw Jacob Bethel and Virat Kohli going out there and open, and we've known that their partnership most of the times has not clicked. So, how important is Devdutt Patikal coming in at number 3 and scoring those runs for RCB?
This is RCB's most important player as far as batting is concerned. More important than Virat Kohli. He's more important. If you look at right from game one, the first game that RCB play this season, I mean, Virat Kohli was outshone by Devdutt Patikal. Devdutt Patikal, the way he has been playing, and he is uh, sort of over the last few months. It's not only about the IPL, the way he batted at the Ranji Trophy, then the Vijay Hazare Trophy. He is sort of in the form of his life. He's a fantastic batsman, and very likely he's going to be India's new number 3 in Test cricket also. So Devdutt Patikal is their most important batsman. And then you have but it is not only about Devdutt Patikal. It is about the batsmen around him. If you look at it, Virat Kohli, Phil Salt, if he plays good, if he doesn't play, doesn't matter at all because they have Venkatesh Iyer. Then you have Rajat Patidar, and if you go down the order, when the chips are down, there is a lion-hearted cricketer called Kunal Pandya. When chips are down under pressure, he revels under pressure. So if you look at the group, it is about the group. It is about the unit. It is about the batting group or bowling group. Jasprit Bumrah Mumbai Indians had Jasprit Bumrah, right? Jasprit Bumrah didn't have a very good season by his hugely lofty standards, although his economy rate was still down, still below 8.5. But he didn't take too many wickets, just 4 wickets. But what happened basically when Jasprit Bumrah was not at his peak, then the other Indian bowlers couldn't complement him. So they couldn't bring on that. They couldn't bring on that support. If you look at uh, Royal Challengers Bangalore, it is if Bhuvaneshwar Kumar wouldn't have that second win, then Josh Hazlewood would have been isolated. What Devdutt Patikal alone playing, being in sublime form wouldn't have helped. It's about the group, and RCB have been under Mo Bobart and Rajat Patidar is the captain. Dinesh Karthik. Over the last 2 years, they have been playing as a unit, and that is the biggest turnaround in terms of RCB. That is why they have become from also rans to title contenders. They have won the title last year also.
Definitely. And Shamik was talking about Rajat Patidar and Dinesh Karthik. So, Bharat, which brings me to my next question. I have two questions for you. First, how would you rate Rajat Patidar as a captain? And second, how would you rate him as a batter?
See, I think the best answer can be given by Venkatesh Iyer himself, his best friend. Because when I asked this question about Rajat Patidar, the captain, he went on and on and on and on. It seemed like the answer would be like for 8 or 10 minutes or 12 minutes. He talked about how simple he is. Anyway, coming back to Rajat Patidar, the captain, we have seen him captain the Madhya Pradesh side. He's done a reasonable job. I'm not saying he has done a great job as the captain of Madhya Pradesh. In T20 cricket, I've seen him inside Mushtaq Ali Trophy. He once took Madhya Pradesh to the final. So he's done a reasonably good job as a captain. He's someone who leads from the front. I guess, as Venkatesh Iyer told me, that he keeps it very simple. It could be one of his strengths. Even when he's batting, he keeps it basically simple. If he thinks that the next ball has to go for a six, then it has to go for a six. Come what way, it has to go for a six. Whether it's a good ball, whether it's a bad ball, I don't think Mr. Rajat Patidar thinks about it. So that is how he bats. I think maybe even as a captain, he's very cool, calm. You don't see him shouting, screaming, or on those lines. So yeah, he's a pretty good captain. But having said that, I think he has a problem. At least in this IPL, I'm not saying he has a problem against fast bowling, but I think he has a problem against short ball. At least in this IPL, and Gujarat Titans have If they also pick Prasid, they have three bowlers well over 6 feet. On that ground, they will definitely try short balls at him. So it would be interesting to see how it goes. So can you just tell the second question again, because I think I just came back around 15 minutes ago. With a lot of hot sun around at the Kantirao
No,
Stadium.
you've
So
answered both my questions. You've answered both my questions. You've
yeah,
answered
yeah,
Rajat Pattar as a captain and then as a batter.
because
Weber,
I'm slightly tired. Just 10 minutes ago, I just came back from the Kantirao Stadium. It was very hot out there.
yeah,
So yeah,
very hot. Yeah,
I
I saw
thought
you.
that maybe I forgot.
Weber, what I wanted to ask you is that you were talking about the middle order and then the top order of RCB. Tim David, how crucial is he in that batting lineup?
Well, he's very crucial, but again, that totally depends on what his entry point is, where he's batting. Because Dinesh Karthik, I'm saying Jitesh Sharma has been the weakest link for RCB, and they have tried him at number five in few occasions, but again, he hasn't come good. I think he has only played one good enough cameo in this whole season, and that is a problem. But with the quality of Jitesh Sharma, you never know. He came good in the final, in the last year's final. I think it was a very important cameo from him against MI. He played similar sort of innings last year. So, but Jitesh, if I am RCB, if I am in that RCB dugout, if I have to best utilize Tim David's prowess, hitting prowess, then it will be number five. And in last 1 year, look at the number, the volume of runs that Tim David has scored. It only because even Australia has been promoting him at number five. So that he has come out of that role of being only as a finisher, playing only as a finisher. That label is still associated with him in a lot of teams, but I think his best utilization you can do is now at number five, only for the reason that he has improved his game against spin. If you have asked me this same question last before 2025, I would have said let him bat for the final 5 or 6 overs, because that's where he will face a lot of fast bowling. But now Tim David is a very good player of spin as well. He is hitting spin so well since the last season only. So I think that has that's where he becomes sort of X factor at number five. So I think after Rajat Patidar, if you want to send somebody, it has to be Tim David at number five. Make most of the best form. Best form is something everybody emphasize on. So I think RCB, although they are trying to find an ideal position for a struggling Jitesh Sharma, but I think they should stick with Tim David, because Tim David has been firing really well. So stick with Tim David. I think that's where you can outbat the teams, because if you'll have a Rajat Patidar, Virat Kohli, Devdutt Padikkal, and then Tim David, I think these batters are good enough to take the total past 220, 230 and outbat the opposition. So I think Tim David, if I am there in the RCB team management, no matter what happens, send Tim David at number five. He's just good enough. Even if the team has suffered a collapse, he can do the job up front.
Last few questions about RCB before we move to GT. Otherwise, our viewers are going to think we are biased. Shamik, what I wanted to ask you is that when we talk about the pace attack of RCB, we know Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. He has been exceptional throughout the season, and we've had multiple discussions of Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. We've spoken about him on multiple shows. But my question to you is, how crucial is Josh Hazelwood in that whole batting bowling unit?
They are MVP. They are MVP as far as their bowling is concerned. He is a fantastic bowler. The way, basically, his USP is his length. At that length, it is very difficult to force the pace. The length he bowls, it is very, very difficult to force the pace. He is a fantastic cricketer. I mean, he's a top cricketer playing for Australia for so long. So, basically, and class never dies. He is their MVP as far as their bowling is concerned. But it is not about, once again, Josh Hazlewood. It is about the two fast bowlers operating in tandem. Without Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, if Bhuvaneshwar Kumar would have leaked runs at the other end, he would have gone at 10 or 12 runs per over. Josh Hazlewood wouldn't have been that active. Now that the pair is bowling it, if you look at Gujarat Titans also, Mohammad Siraj and Kagiso Rabada, they are hunting as a pair, and that's how cricket is played. It is not an individual sport, especially as far as their bowling is concerned. Fast bowlers be spinners. Fast bowlers hunt in a pair. Spinners bowl well in tandem. So it is about. I think this. I think today's game, the very vital matchup is Shubman Gill more than Josh Hazelwood. More than Josh Hazelwood. In today's game, the most vital matchup is Bhuvneshwar Kumar versus Shubman Gill. Because Shubman Gill at that height, and there would be some nip in the air. It is not like Bombay 42 degrees, it feels like 48 degrees. There would be at that altitude, and I can see Dauladhar on my telly. So at that altitude, there would be some nip in the air. And Shubman Gill is their best bet. He is India's best batsman across formats, although he doesn't play T20 cricket. He is India's best batsman across formats, and I am reiterating it. Post Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill is in terms of batsmanship. He is India's best across formats. If the viewers call me Shubman's PR, yes, I accept that. Yeah, you are allowed to your interpretation. I care a damn. I give two hoots to social media, which gives Poison a platform, which is basically a system. But Shubman Gill, he is their best bet. He can negate that movement. If he can negate that movement, then it is Gujarat Titans will be in the ascendancy. Simple as that. If you look at their previous game also, GT versus RCB, the way he was bending the ball and Shubman was walking out of his crease and trying and was countering Bhuvni. He didn't play. He didn't score a century or a 70 or 80 odd. He played a cameo 80, 84, and that was the best innings of that game. So Shubman, I have a lot of. I mean, in as far as I'm concerned, as far as the matchup is concerned for this game, it is Shubman versus Bhuvneshwar.
Definitely. And now that you're talking about Shubman Gill, Bharat, do you feel that after his performance in the 2026 IPL season, he has redeemed himself as a T20 batter? Because we've seen him getting dropped from the T20I squad of the national team.
Before
I
Bharat
think
proceeds, just one update from Dharamshala. Prasidh Krishna has marked his run-up, so most likely he will come in, given his good record against RCB as well. So yeah.
So they have three pacers: Mohammad Siraj, Kagiso Rabada, and then Prasidh Krishna. If I'm
and
right.
Jason Holt. That is, I
Jason
think,
Holt as well. Yeah, how can I
Middle
forget
over
Jason Holt?
enforcer.
that is, I think, the best pace attack in this IPL. That's what I genuinely believe. If all four of them play, because Prasidh Krishna himself has 14 wickets at an average of 21 in this IPL. Kagiso Rabada has well over 20 wickets, despite Prasidh not playing 3 games. He's 14 wickets this season. And Kagiso Rabada has over 20 wickets, Siraj has 17, 18 or whatever, and Jason Holder himself has contributed. It's a very traditional pace attack. I think it's the best pace attack of this IPL if there's a little bit of bounce, and it is good to see that they're trusting all their tall fast bowlers, because if there's a bit of bounce, I genuinely believe they have that kind of potential to kind of trouble RCB. Anyway,
Yes, but
that's something else about Gill. Yeah, coming back to Shubman Gill. Yes, see, Isabad has a set template of playing his T20 game. Yes, in this particular IPL, I believe his strike rate has been a little better, but still, when you consider the type of openers that are coming through the ranks in Indian cricket, it is going to be difficult for him to make a comeback in the T20I side, because you see they have Vaibhav Suryavanshi obviously, and who knows, in a year or so Vaibhav Suryavanshi might be opening the batting with Abhishek Sharma. That is like opposition teams would definitely have some sleepless nights out there, because if it turns out of a flat pitch, it could be something like 100 for 0 in 5 overs against these two. So considering that, I think Shubman Gill has a tough task on his hands, because the kind of modern day openers, quintessential modern day openers that are coming through, they don't necessarily belong to the addicts of batsmanship, the old addicts of batsmanship. They don't necessarily load their back foot, just play through the line. They kind of clear their front leg and smash it across the line. It's going to be, I think, a little difficult for Shubman Gill to force his way back to the T20 setup. Having said that, he's done very well. He's someone who looks in very good touch, even when the ball was doing a little bit. I think Shubman Gill in this IPL has showed that kind of game to wade through that phase. So he's been a very much an all-round batsman, but it's going to be difficult for him to make a comeback into India's T20I setup.
Vaibhav, what I wanted to ask you is that now that we're talking about Shubman Gill, I think we also have to talk about Sai Sudarshan because they've been complementing each other really well. So, your thoughts on Sai Sudarshan throughout the season?
See, ever since he has made his debut in IPL, he has been the most consistent batter, especially since 2023 season. I think, in terms of consistency, the volume of runs that he has scored, I think no Indian batter. I think only the closest that comes to him is Virat Kohli for 600 plus seasons. But Sai Sudarshan has outscored a lot of batters and a lot of class batters. Yes, you can. Last year's orange cap holder he is currently. So you can talk about a strike rate. Yes, his strike rate may not be as great as somebody like a Vaibhav Suryavanshi or an Abhishek Sharma, but obviously the consistency there, and against the same opposition he has scored a century in Bengaluru, so you have to keep that in mind. And at that time, that time also Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Josh Hazelwood were bowling really well, especially in Bengaluru, but he still scored a brilliant century. So I think Sai Sudarshan has been complementing really well when it comes to Shubman Gill. And this pair has, if you look at the IPL history, this pair has been one of the most successful batting pairs. They have already scored 21 50 plus scores, if I'm not wrong, which is joint most in the IPL history. So that itself tells you, and they have just started their careers. Whether it's Shubman Gill and Sai Sudarshan, they have just started batting together in the last 2-3 seasons. So you get to know that how much GT rely on their openers and how much the openers have contributed to Gujarat Titans' success in the last few years. So I think yes, Sai Sudarshan has been, and the best part about Sai Sudarshan, he knows his limitations. He doesn't go for an awkward hoik or a awkward looking slog. He plays orthodox cricketing shots and he gets the runs from that. So I think that is been his mantra. And same with Shubman Gill. Shubman Gill has been no different. He doesn't try to be like any other batters. So these batters, they know their limitations, but they, although their strike rate is 150, 160, but somehow they get to 60, 70 inside the in the power play, and that is, they lay the foundation. And after that, Josh Butler comes in and then whacks it, is something which GT will be hoping, because I was reading the pitch report as well, and AB de Villiers, during the pitch report, he said it looks like an absolute road. So you expect a high scoring match, because two gun team top two heavy teams are there. So I think that will depend a lot. But one thing that RCB fans will have to keep a note of it, and GT can keep a note. GT batters can keep a note of. Last game, if you will see against SRH, Bhuvneshwar Kumar went for more than 15 runs. Josh Hazelwood conceded more than 15 runs. Razik Salam conceded more than 15 runs. So three of their frontline pacers, all three of them combinedly, they gave up 150 runs. And Josh Hazelwood and Bhuvneshwar Kumar, both of them went wicketless. It was Razik Salam who took wicket. So Razik Salam has been, you know, contributing, not getting a lot of spotlight, but he's been chipping it with wickets even when the senior bowlers are not taking wickets. And last match, what it showed, Abhishek Sharma and Travis Head, in conditions where there was a bit of help for the fast bowlers, they countered Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Josh Hazelwood. So it's not unplayable to play Bhuvneshwar or Josh Hazelwood, even though they are at the peak of their powers. But you can find a way. And certainly Shubman Gill, obviously last game, I think I had told, I was talking to you guys only about the matchups, and I told Shubman Gill versus Bhuvneshwar Kumar, and then that game Bhuvneshwar got Shubman Gill's wicket. Again, it is the same, but I think Shubman and Sai Sudarshan are well equipped. Even somebody like Josh Butler, although Josh Butler has a terrible record against Bhuvneshwar Kumar, but I think these batters are well equipped to counter the new ball threat of RCB. You're on mute. You're on mute.
And I kept on speaking. Thank you so much, Vaibhav. Shamik, what I wanted to ask you is that we have been talking about the batting unit of GT, and we all know that the top order has somewhat been performing. Josh Butler went out there, scored runs against CSKB also. But then my question to you is, what is the role of Rahul Tewatia in the team? I mean, why is he not performing?
He is a good cricketer. This year he hasn't been performing, but once again, Rahul Teotia is someone who can give you the balance on his day, and if he regains his form, he is someone who can go at the rate of knots as a batsman, and he can offer that bit of leg spin also. So he is a good batsman to have. You can have a bad season. You cannot don't judge a player based on just one season. Ruturaj Gaikwad failed to score runs this season. Does it mean Ruturaj Gaikwad is a bad batsman? Absolutely not. Ruturaj Gaikwad is still in contention for an ODI berth in the Indian team. So Rian Parag hasn't scored too many runs in this IPL. Does it mean he is not a good batsman? It is not like that. Rahul Teotia, he is a bit older. Age is not on his side, but he is a very he is someone who, if he can hit his straps, will bring the required balance to the side, and that's why they are backing him. Because if you look at the GT squad, they actually don't have a like for like replacement for Rahul Teotia also. So this season he is not scoring runs. It's not going. It's not going to the plan, and it can happen. It can happen to any cricketer. Jasprit Bumrah took 4 wickets. His average was 100 plus. So could you even imagine that it could ever happen? But it just showed that Jasprit Bumrah is human. I'm not. If I ever show the temerity to put Rahul Teotia, if I ever show the temerity to put Rahul Teotia and Jasprit Bumrah in the same bracket, in fact, I should apologize to draw Jasprit Bumrah analogy in a discussion that is related to Rahul Teotia, and I apologize to Jasprit Bumrah. But it is about I'm just wanted what I wanted to do was to give you the examples, but that it can happen even to the very best. So this is maybe it is today's game when he can get back to form. Let's see.
Sure, Jenny. I just want to make a point on Rahul Tewatia. If you look at this particular, I don't think he's been out of form because in at max he has faced only 17 deliveries. 17
Exactly,
deliveries is
exactly.
the
You
maximum
can
he has faced in one innings. So 17 innings is not just good enough
are
sample.
it
Look at the number of deliveries he
absolutely
has.
right, Vaibhav. It's 70, and that is a
Also, sorry.
very small sample size. That is a
Okay,
very
also
small sample size.
there is a toss update. I'm sorry to cut you off. So GT have won the toss and will bowl first. So that is the call
They
that
have
they've
got
taken. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that
they
brings
have
I
us
got
to
what
my
they
next
wanted.
question,
due
Bharat.
factor, due
Due,
factor.
due factor. Which brings me to my
Yeah,
next question, Bharat. How dangerous is the bowling lineup of GT? Because we have the Pacers, and then we have someone like a Rashid Khan come in as well. And then like Weber was mentioning in one of his answers, we saw that all of the bowlers have been performing very well, but then again, Arshad Khan has been a little inconsistent. So, what are your thoughts on the bowling unit of Gujarat Titans?
yeah, it's a very traditional pace attack. Obviously, if there is any kind of nip, if there is any kind of bounce, I think this pace attack is the best going around in the IPL, world of IPL. Yes, they do may not bowl too many variations, but if there is any kind of bounce or nip, they tend to do well. But I will just add a point that David de Villiers said. I don't think he necessarily said it's a road. He basically said it's rock hard, but those few cracks, whether that means there will be anything for the same seamers, I don't know. But I have spotted a few little cracks. This goes well with what I just said. You tend to get bounce here. You tend to get bounce. You can tend to get a little bit of nip. But having said that, I think what goes against bowlers here is the dimensions,
Also,
and the second
Bharat,
one is
I'm very sorry to cut you off, but there's another update. Phil Salt is not playing today. Rajat
yeah,
Patidar
that's
has said this
something
during the
that I
tournament.
kind of said. That's something that I kind of said. They have to take a gamble with him because I don't think he's completely fit. But coming back to that point, you get bounce here. I think there will be a couple of cracks. But having said that, the dimensions are small here, and the ball just flies because of the high altitude factor, and that is what perhaps goes against the fast bowlers. Yes, see, GT have a very good pace attack. If all four of them play, that I don't know whether they will. If all four of them play, if you give them a little bit of nip, if you give them a little bit of bounce, then I think it's a dangerous attack with especially Rashid Khan as well coming in the equation as the fifth bowler. So, yeah, and I will just add a point because I didn't read the correct figures at that time. So Jason Holder has 13 wickets at 16. Kagiso Rabada has 24 at 20.54. Prasid has 14 at 21.78, and Siraj has 17 at 25. So all their four seamers are taking wickets at an average of under 25. That tells something about their form. Nothing more to say.
Weber, your thoughts on Rashid Khan? Because we've seen that he has been a little inconsistent in the beginning. He was going for runs, and then again, he gained back his form, had started taking wickets. We all know that he is a world class player and he steps up for his team
Just
every
a
time.
second, just a second. Kohli, Venkatesh Iyer, Padikkal, Patidar, Krunal, Jitesh, David, Bhuvaneshwar, Hazelwood, Rashid, Duffy.
D- So that's the playing 11 for RCB.
for RCB.
Yes. So Webber, I'm going to change my question now that Shomik has read out the playing 11. Your thoughts on the batting lineup?
The batting lineup as always looks solid, and even if as Rajat Patidar yesterday said, Salt is fit. His first answer was Salt is fit, but again the selection dilemma, because Venkatesh Iyer is doing well. You are not very sure that a player even of Salt's caliber coming back from an injury, if he'll be able to deliver. Because with players like Phil Salt, it's about taking that risk, because they are carefree batters. They don't care about the whether they'll be able to give that. They'll be able to play the longish innings
Once
or not.
again, sorry, Vaibhav.
Yeah, yeah.
Gill, Sudhar, Gill, Sai, Josh Butler, Sindhu, Washington, Holder, Rashid, Kulwan Kejrolia, Rabada, Siraj, Prasidh Krishna.
Kulwan Khijrolia plays. Okay, Prasidh is playing. Kulwan Khijrolia is playing. Rabada is playing. Siraj is playing. Nice. So they are not going with Sai Kishore or Arshad Khan. Okay. So coming to RCB. Yeah, coming to RCB. I think you asked about RCB's
Yeah,
changes,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So
also
see,
talking about Gujarat, I think Arshad Khan not playing was kind of predictable because we saw him not perform with the ball. Yeah.
obviously, these are the only reason that you can justify Arshad Khan's selection was because your middle order is fragile. That's why you wanted to give yourself an option, Arshad Khan, a bowling all-rounder, just to beef up your lower middle order. Otherwise, there was no reason to play Arshad Khan because he was not taking wickets. And you cannot sit out somebody like a Prasidh Krishna, who was your highest wicket taker last season, who's been taking wickets regularly whenever he's playing. So that was a mistake. Now they have rectified their mistake at the right time. But not surprised at all with RCB's selection. I think going with I think Jacob Duffy was a given that Phil Salt is not playing. So yes, Venkatesh here at the top makes a lot of sense. They may continue with the right left combination, three Padikal and then four Rajat Patidar and then Tim David, Krunal Pandya. So it's a very good looking batting side. And then talk about GT. I'm surprised, a bit of surprise that now they have brought in Kulwan Kejrolia, who was not even picked in the first squad. He was brought in as a replacement player, and to play him, I don't know. See, with Ashish Nehra, you are never sure, because what we don't see in a player, he's so. Maybe it can work in their favor, but let's see. Kulwan Kejrolia also is an ex RCB bowler, so let's see how he turns up against his former team.
So we already have a prediction from Sailesh because he says Gujarat Titans 55% match win. Sai Sudarshan 55 runs, okay, all fives. Shubman Gill 90 runs. Rashid Khan 4 wickets. So that's his prediction. Shamik,
This guy seems to be a fan of Mr. Bharat Ramraj, because he also makes such predictions 55-45.
Shamik, your predictions?
I back RCB to win this game with a rider. If they can knock off 45 runs of Prasidh Krishna's 4 overs, they will win this game.
Bharat, your predictions?
Yes, first of all, I think it's a good toss to win because generally what you see at this ground is you get a little bit of bounce up front. You tend to see a little bit of nip up front as well. So considering that they have picked all those tall fast bowlers, I think they have a chance to make some incisions, make some inroads into the opposition attack. So interesting to see. Maybe because they have won the toss, I'm wondering whether I have to tilt towards Gujarat Titans. So maybe it's Gujarat Titans is slight favorites, mainly because they have won the toss. They have a chance here to bowl first. But although if they don't get it right with a new ball, then with the kind of dimensions and with a high altitude, the ball will just fly here. So it could be double-edged sword, this toss. But still, I feel that they have a slight edge because they won the toss.
I assumed you would say, RCB because you've been covering the home matches for them, but never mind. Weber, your predictions?
This man can surprise you anytime.
I know,
You
right?
expect something and he will deliver something else. That has been the season for even I was surprised with a lot of his predictions in the past. But coming to the prediction, I think RCB obviously head into favorites given the balance, but because of the toss factor, and the captain has mentioned the due factor as well. I think Shubman has mentioned about due. So I think if due settles in, then it becomes, and GT has always been a method side when it comes to chasing. So if they can restrict RCB to something below 200, then I think it will be an easy game for GT. But again, RCB has the batting that can outbat GT from this game. If they score 240, then obviously you don't expect a GT, this GT, because they rely heavily on their top order. So I think but still, I think GT has enough in their bowling. So GT for the win.
Well
Okay,
said, a
so
line. It's mainly because of the new ball. I said it's because see, they have won the toss, and you have generally seen in the first 4 5 overs here at this ground, the ball nips around a little bit, not much. So if they use it well, then I think Gujarat Titans have a decent chance here. But as I noted, if they don't use it well, because of the high altitude, it could be something like 5 overs 80 for one as well.
okay. So on that note, we are going to close today's pre-match show. We'll be back for the post-match show. Till then, please keep on watching Rev Sports, like, share, and subscribe, and definitely enjoy the game. Thank you so much for joining.